What's up, everybody? Josh and Joe here with RamRods Archery. This is Follow Through, and we're going to be talking with special guest Jozef Bosansky, who has been crushing it on the international circuit this year. We're going to hear how he's been doing, go over some of his past recent matches, and catch up.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Yeah, good to see you again. It's been almost 6 months now since Vegas, since we saw you there. Time kind of flies, but we're really excited to catch up with you. We've been playing around with ideas on how to make this podcast more interesting and more useful to people. And rather than just kind of doing another different type of commentary right after the fact, we're finding that it's really nice for us to catch up with athletes and get the full kind of story of the background about what they're working on, how the different matches and tournament went, and what's basically led them to feeling better, shooting better, getting some of these big wins. So hopefully people are appreciating that as we start to roll some of these out. But you've definitely had a great year so far. So we were super excited now that we were kind of pivoting this a little bit to catch up with you and to start to just kind of give some people some insight into how your year's going, how your shooting's going, and some insider information on some of these matches and tournaments.
Yes, this year started very good. And the first competition was in Lillehammer, England. That was good for me start. And this competition, some kick me for the best result next match. And I also start coaching with mental coach, and I think this helped me a lot.
Nice. Yeah, so that rolls into, I guess, one of my questions is that we like to get some background on the athletes and how their shooting and their training is going, because I mean, we know that when you get to a tournament, sometimes it looks like things just happen, good or bad, or somewhere in the middle. But in reality, there's a whole buildup and a whole preparation that kind of leads to this ebb and flow of how an athlete's doing. So you're mentioning mental coaching as something you started in 2022 or early in 2023 that's been helping you?
I start mental coaching 2 weeks before the competition in Lillehammer. It's, I think, April 23.
Okay.
But I will only try. I have nothing experience with mental coaching. I read some book about it, but I will try. And one good mental coach from Slovakia, Petr Kuračka, is my friend, and I ask him when have time for me, and we start. And that's what
nice, yeah.
So what were some of the, I mean, obviously you talk to this person for a couple of weeks and then you go win the next event you shoot. So what were some of the things that you guys talked about that you found were an improvement, helpful, and kind of took you to the next level?
The first, I think the main idea was give my stress to low level, because when I go shoot, last year I shoot qualification round very well, but I go to elimination and I burn. I was out, and we talked together about it. For me, very good idea was the stress is not my enemy. Stress is my friend. Because have stress with in the elimination round, it's okay. When I am under stress, under pressure, I stay in the focus. I am not like calm or easy. Maybe that was for me that's important thing.
Okay, I like that. So you're trying to turn the feeling of stress maybe into a positive thing by viewing it as something different. It's now almost like a fuel to help you stay focused, push yourself, and really stay in the moment to do what you need to do.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I like it. That's awesome.
And I'm under stress. It's super for me, and the stress is normal. I think all archer is in stress, and when go to elimination round, because qualification round is like practice. It's nothing.
Yeah, I agree. And realistically, everybody is going to feel pressure, and I feel like in my own shooting and from what I've heard a lot of other archers talk about, I feel like a lot of people want to try to get rid of that feeling. They want to feel calm, they want to feel relaxed when they're competing at a very high level, but I just don't think that's realistic. I think if you care about something a lot and if you love what you do, you're going to have some adrenaline and excitement attached to that. You're never going to just go shoot a gold medal match at a World Cup and just be like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, I just learned to just like not just be chill and relaxed about it, like I'm just watching TV.
Yes, the second match, the gold final match, I was really relaxed with, because I know I have medals, and it was goal for me. And when it was silver or gold, it's not so important for me at the moment. And I was really relaxed.
So you already felt like you won. You were already there.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So yeah, I'm curious too. You've been shooting, I think, for a long time, and at the World Cup and international level and top 10 in the world level for a long time. And it sounds like you're describing that even for 10 or 20 years maybe of your shooting career, that you viewed stress, you viewed matches, you viewed competition a bit differently. And only in the last maybe 6 months have you worked very specifically on retraining or just kind of reframing how you think about stress or competition. And it seems like it's made a huge improvement or huge change to make you more comfortable or more able to shoot the way you want in matches.
All winning is amazing, but for me, it was all competition before like hobby. When I win, I was happy. When I lose, I was unhappy. Maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes, and life go on.
I was going to add too, I think we're in an interesting position because we're a bit older than a lot of the young athletes on the World Cup, but younger obviously than a lot of athletes who are still competing. So it's interesting for us now to kind of see this bridge between some of the intensity of the young athletes who kind of rise and fall in emotion so much with winning and losing. But it sounds like you've been training a lot longer, you're older than a lot of these athletes, and there's a lot of perspective and wisdom there maybe that a lot of athletes could learn from. I mean, just part of the enjoyment of archery rather than, again, feeling terrible if you lose or that you're unbeatable if you win. It's a little more medium all the time.
Yeah, but all times when I go shoot, it's on the first place for me, because when I go shoot, I pull my bow, I shoot, push trigger, and I shoot. At this moment, I am happy. And for me, it's archery still and always hobby. It's absolutely hobby. And when I have time, I go shoot. This is hobby number one for me, and I think this is the difference between the young guys and the young archer with some career or something. I enjoy shooting.
Yeah, I think that enjoyment is really important because in my experience, from what I've heard other people say, what I've heard other mental coaches say, it really does seem like when you are going to have one of your best possible levels of performance, you're going to be more in that level of investment and excitement that's like just enough to have fun. It's not too much to where you're stressing yourself out. And I think that fun not only helps you kind of just stay chill enough to shoot and do what you got to do, but that level of fun also just makes it more enjoyable. And when you have a better time, it's easier to do what you need to do. And rather than just being so intense on this is all about some sort of outcome that I have to win or it's all or nothing, I think that just puts the stress in a much worse context than just really being passionate about what you do and enjoying it.
Yes. I love archery and I enjoy the shooting. I was yesterday on the small competition in Czech Republic. I drive 2.5 hours the small competition because I will try something new. And this competition was 42 archers together, only 3-man compound. But I have time. I have one Friday, and I will something new try. And I go some small competition because I like this.
Yeah, that's something Josh and I have talked about because when we were training very seriously with the Olympic recurve and part of the national training program, we were just so focused on always maintaining ranking and going to just the national events and international events. And I think we all start at a very local level, like with small clubs, just in our kind of region, local shops, and we forget how important that is for our love and enjoyment of the sport as we kind of keep scaling up our intensity or our goals or ambitions. And I wish I had learned that earlier in my career of getting back to what you love about it in the first place. The people, the new experiences and new places, all types of levels of archery, not just the ones that are important or really prestigious. So it sounds like you've found that balance for yourself and that a lot of people could benefit from learning from that.
Yes, I think I have the balance. And I started with archery before 9 years. And the target archery, I started 2017. It's 6 years ago. And I will shoot more.
For sure. And I guess I'm curious too. So you're relatively recent. You started archery in your 40s. Is that right? After you were 40 years old?
39.
Or about
39.
there? 39, 40. Yeah, a lot of these athletes or kids we see, we call them kids now, I guess. They seem young to us, but they start when they're so young. So I'm curious, your path in archery has been very different. What drew you to archery so intensely at that age? Because I think most people, they get into it for fun when they're kids, and then they try and continue for as long as they can. But it sounds like you found it later in life, and it was very fulfilling for you in a way that I don't know if you had any other hobbies in the past that were similar, or other sports experience, or what drew you in particular archery?
I have sport experience. I try windsurfing, kiteboarding, and so adrenaline sport. But all sport I did 2 years or 3 years maximum, and I stopped with it. And when I buy my first compound, I start shooting, and that was nice feeling. And I shoot every day. When I have time, I go shooting. I go shoot, and I go first competition, second, and it's my life.
Yeah, just keep going.
And the rest is history. Yeah. Now you're winning World Cups.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is benefits.
I think that reviewing some of the mental training, reviewing some of your kind of philosophy on shooting and competitions and where you're at in your life and what you're trying to do, I think gives people some more information. The matches are exciting, but I think when people understand the background of an athlete and kind of the stakes, the risks and rewards they're going through. I think it draws them more in. So I think it's really exciting for them, I would think, to learn more about your story and your background and then follow you more, both now and in the future. So coming into Antalya, the first World Cup of the season, I expect that your expectations were high, that whether or not you medal or win, you're feeling good and you're feeling like your shooting is going in a way that's more comfortable, maybe a better system for yourself. So did you have any thoughts or expectations before the World Cup season or before Antalya?
Maybe, but just little. Just small expectation. I go to Antalya and I shooting some nice results. I think about 710. That was my plan, and I shoot I think 709, and I say okay, it's okay. It's only one. I lose only 1 point, but I have on the plan was okay for me.
Nice. Okay.
The first half was not so good. I shoot I think 353, and the second was better. Was 356. That is okay. When I make practice 355 and more, it's okay for me.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's a very good level. That's a 710. You're probably averaging at that point like a 148-ish for a 15 arrow segment of a match.
Yeah.
So that's really stout. Yeah, that'll keep up with almost anybody any day. So you had some expectations, but not super high, just saying, hey, we're working good. Our plan is to kind of keep that 355 average or so, which I'm sure tons of athletes would be jealous of, but obviously just kind of keeping your thing going and maintaining that 710 level. Do you recall the conditions? I assume it was relatively calm wind, nothing putting, stressing the athletes too much as far as the scores?
I don't remember for this condition. Sorry guys, I don't remember.
No worries.
Because you can ask me this 2 hours after the competition, and I don't remember. When it's not something special, I forgot for this because it's not now and not future, and was it's not important for me, and I go with my head. Sorry.
Sure, no worries. And yeah, it was a couple months ago now.
But I think it was not windy or something. It was good, I think. Was good condition because Matthias shoot 717, I think.
Yeah, I think I remember when we were reviewing it, there were a lot of scores over 700 and over 710 in particular. So it seemed like people were shooting well.
Yes, I think it was maybe 45 men, but shoot.
A lot of high scores.
Yeah.
49 men, compound men shoot more like 700. Was amazing.
Wow.
Then I think the condition was good.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. It's stiff competition, but it's exciting when everybody's shooting really well. I feel like it gets me excited to just watch good archers, watch good shooting, watch people kind of push each other and push themselves. But yeah, so want to get into the first match?
Let's do it.
All right.
So this is the semifinal match.
All right, so you've made it this far. You know you're excited to be in the top 4. I think in the past they hadn't done semifinals and finals on the same day. I think Steve said they changed that in like 2019 or something. So now you have to do 2 matches in a day, and maybe if you had momentum going into the semifinals on the regular range, it wasn't as, you're not able to keep it up, right? You have a couple days separation where you have to now reset and get comfortable again. But yeah, in general, so you're out here in the semifinals. How did it feel?
Before this match, I was on the practice field, and I broke really a lot knob. I have really good feeling. because I shoot normal 6 arrows on the practice, and I shoot only 3 arrows, and I broken a lot knobs 10 minutes before. I think this is my day, and that was a good day.
Nice. So yeah,
My setup works perfect, 100%.
Nice. Yeah, that's got to feel good when you're you got that control to be putting them right on the other arrows on the practice range right before you go.
I don't think anybody's going to be mad they're breaking their own arrows before going into a medal match or going into elimination rounds. It's got to feel good to know everything's dialed in and everything's working how it's supposed to. So you guys start off with some solid shots here.
The first arrows for me was the worst because I shaking, but only first arrows. I pull, I anchor, I aiming, and my dot was was like I don't really nervous. But in my head, I told myself sorry, and you must only shoot, and I shoot, and was X. And after this, I think what we told together with my mental coach, and my focus go not to result, but on the process for the shooting, the process shooting, the pull, aiming, anchoring, push, and shot. It's easy, and it works on this day.
Yeah, being able to pull that focus back. You mentioned, I think everybody's going to be, heightened adrenaline and nerves going in that first arrow, but it sounds like very quickly you pulled it back to where you wanted to be and the right focus. So, I feel like that's about as good as you can hope for. It's just a little bit of like, okay, I'm getting used to it, and then like, okay, immediately back into my process.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. So you're shooting, it looks like you might have been the lower ranked archer here, or you were shooting second. Do you have a preference on shooting first or second, or does it not really matter much to you in a match?
Before the shooting, I told with Sergio Pani, and he told me, you shoot second, because maybe it's wind, it's see, and you can watch the arrows your opponent.
Okay.
Sergio Pani either. You shoot second.
Yeah, I feel like it's tricky. We watched some of that with recurve, and I think recurve almost always elects to shoot first. But I agree that, wind is critical, and especially when you guys are dealing with just millimeters here and there and a couple points in a match, that can make a big difference. But yeah, it looked like it worked well, and I don't know if you're reading your opponent's arrows right now. But now you looked like he leaked out a little left on that first arrow of the second end, and now you're in the driver's seat here.
Yes. I think I shoot first 6 arrow. I think was X. I don't know now, but yes, it was X.
You got 5 in a row so far. That's a good way to start off a semifinals match.
I know that the start was really good for me, and for my mental, that helped me a lot.
Yeah, and I like your pacing too. It looks like you're very smooth, and your timing and rhythm is good. I think Josh and I, when we watch so many archers over so many years, we see that there's changes in body language sometimes, changes in pace, which can lead to, just the archer getting a little more tired and a little more shaky rather than sticking with that process and just trusting that if they shoot smoothly with good timing, that the arrows will group really well and they'll be okay. So yeah, it's interesting for us to kind of read that in matches, even when they're on television, because I mean the stakes are very high, and you can see a lot of what the archers are thinking.
Yes, when I'm on the line, I go to focus. I go from line down, and at this moment, I will not think about shooting. Because when I think about shooting, my stress level go up. And
Yeah.
I enjoyed the people. Was an archer from Luxembourg and my friend, and I joking with him, and I enjoying.
Nice. I think that's where you want to be. I think people work so hard to get to big matches and to have a chance to win that I think it's a little bit of a tragedy if they are too stressed to enjoy it. So I think coming back to that and saying, this is why I work hard, is so that I can shoot here and enjoy it, is I think really critical. So what happened on that last arrow? Do you remember? That one looked like a little high left, kind of flyer.
Yes. I punch. I'm punching sometimes, and that was the problem. I watched this video a lot of time, and that was punching.
Okay. So then you're just bringing back that focus.
Yeah.
Okay. I think some people sometimes they beat themselves up too much. They're really hard on themselves if they make a mistake. But I mean, it's a long match. It's nice to shoot a perfect score, but you don't have to shoot a perfect score to win. So I think just kind of continuing rolling with things. And there you saw your opponent too dropped an 8, which, I mean, it happens sometimes, but you definitely can't count on that. But, it seems like it's just, you never know what's going to happen. So if you just draw that focus back to yourself and your process, in general, good things start to happen.
Yes, I was on the focus, and of course, all archers will shoot 150 perfect score in final or semi-final. It's nice, but it's very hard. And after this match, I think about this end. I think about my winning, but I was very careful because the match ended after last arrow. We can see it as a lot of time. The last arrow was absolutely bad.
Yeah, it's not over till every single arrow shot and you know the total. You don't want to get too excited ahead of time.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the 4th end. Did we shoot 9 arrows already? Yeah. Okay, so you're up by 2 points, a 189. You had that one slip out a little bit, but everything else has been pretty dead center. And then your opponent leaks another one out. So now you're up by 2 to 3 points, depending on this shot. Okay. So now, 3-point gap. That's got to feel good with 5 arrows left.
Yes, that was good feeling, but maybe this was problem because my focus go a little bit down, and I think now I shoot 9.
Okay. So yeah, sometimes despite our best intentions, we're kind of paying attention to the other archer a little bit, or letting the circumstances kind of change our focus.
Yes, because you think you have a big chance for win, and you think about winning, or not about shooting, and that is my big problem in the elimination round.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody struggles with that and works on that. So yeah, so one leaked out right. You're on the right side with the other 2, so still pulling that focus back. And I think that's something even I'm learning just from watching and talking to you, is just the relaxed nature with which you're kind of steering your focus and your attention and your emotions back to just shooting, just process. You're happy when you're making a good shot, but you're not overly excited. And you're, not happy when you make a bad shot, but you're not beating yourself up either. You're just saying, hey, we're just, there's another arrow. We're just steering this focus back to what we want. Rather than, it seems like your opponent, he's having some trouble right now, but you can tell his frustration level is higher on his bad shots. And in general, I think that probably does, hurts a little more than it helps.
Yes. I think at this moment, I start think about the winning maybe in 80%, and but the last arrow was, or I don't remember now, but I think I shoot again 1-9 in this end, and or was the second arrow? I don't remember now.
All right, yeah, we'll see. All right, so 3 arrows left. You're only 2 points off perfect. Got a high 10.
Yes. But okay. I know I have big chance for winning.
Yeah. One of the things I like to think of too is that regardless of kind of winning or not in one of these matches, it's good practice for the next match. Like, the next match is for a medal. So you want to say, hey, like, this feeling is normal. I'm going to have this again. And we're just trying to refocus. It's always this learning process. So your opponent shoots a 30. You had leaked out one, but you're in a good spot where all you need to do is hit the gold to win and an X. So good finish. I would say that score seemed a little closer than maybe it was as far as the group of the Malaysian shooter. He had leaked out some much farther. But yeah, a 2-point victory in a match when you only drop 3, I guess, is a pretty big gap.
It was still a good match. Both athletes shot super well.
Yeah. Awesome. So now, a little pressure, stress relieved. You were able to focus on your process well enough and close it out.
Yes. Now at this moment, I was very happy because I know I have the medal, maybe gold, maybe silver, and this was for me amazing. This was a big emotion process in my head, and I go now on the backstage, and we watched the second match with Mikey and Sawyer.
So you had a little bit of a break, a little bit of chance to relax a little bit, but also watch some other people shoot, and yeah, that's gotta feel good. Like you said, I think it's a interesting thing that most people don't think about, but you actually do win a medal in the semis if you win, right? You win that silver at the very least, and then in the next match you have a chance to win the gold medal. But there's big stakes in that first match as well. But yeah, getting to that level where, as you're saying, you can relax a little bit because you did accomplish something that you can't lose now. But you obviously want to go that last step and get the final gold.
Because when I lose the final match, I'm still a winner. I have the silver medal. It's simply.
Do you think that there's some archers, either ones you know or ones you see, who maybe don't look at it that way? And maybe they look at like, oh, well, if I don't win the gold, then I'm not a winner. Or versus this kind of more appreciation of winning is hard. We can't always win, but I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to get to the gold medal match, and I still will be happy with the silver.
I don't know. Now it's the level with the archer so high. I think it's very very good. It's super when you are in top four. It's it's very hard goal for top four. The level compound man archer is very very high
Yeah, I've been very impressed with the scores this year for sure.
because all what shoot in qualification 700 have a big chance for winning.
Yeah, and we've seen, I mean, top 4 or top 8 archers lose in the first match because opponents are so good, and maybe they're not, a lower ranked opponent isn't quite as consistent. But 15 arrows, anything can happen, and yeah, it's hard to put yourself in that top 4 position. It's definitely an accomplishment.
Yeah.
You gotta have an incredible performance and also kind of just get a little bit lucky that other people just don't drop perfect scores on you when you shoot a 149.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you had a match off between the semifinal and this one. You watched Sawyer shoot his semifinal match. So what thoughts are you thinking now?
I go shoot 15 nice arrow. That was in my head. Nothing is more important. Only 15 nice shooting. 15 nice anchoring and release, and that was in my head. Not the result, because the result was not important at this moment for me.
So you're thinking, now that I got here, I just want to shoot 15 shots that I'm proud of how I shot them, that I like the shot. And then what happens, happens.
Yeah. Well, and just the recognition, too, that a good shot isn't always a 10, and a 10 isn't always a good shot. And being able to really believe that and then say, okay, I'm going to focus on what I can control, just a good shot, and I think that will give me the best chance of getting those arrows all in the 10.
Maybe sometimes the shoot is nice, and I aiming not directly on the 10 or the X, but the shoot is so nice and so good, and the arrows fly to 10. It's like a little bit mistake, sorry, but it works.
Well, we definitely feel that with recurve, right? You just have to kind of be directing all your body and your focus towards your point of aim and trust that all the subtle movements you make and how you set up your equipment and all that will make the bow forgiving enough to direct them all back towards that X-ring, rather than saying or thinking that it's always going to hit right behind the pin, so the pin has to be perfect. It's like, well, there's going to be a little bit of float. There's going to be a little bit of movement here, but I'm always focusing and directing towards my point of aim, and the arrows will follow.
Yes.
All right, so it looks like you're still enjoying yourself. You got a smile after the first end. It looked like Sawyer might have dropped one arrow, but now I assume there were some nerves before the first arrow of this one, but maybe a little bit easier because you just had the match previously.
Was very easy for me. I was so happy and so excited. I go for medal, and I enjoyed this match. I don't count nothing. I only shooting. Only my focus was only on the process for shooting, and I told with my friend. Matusz Durny was coach on this match, and we talked together, and he told me, you are like showman, yes, and you can make show. It's your time for show. Make you one-man show or stand-up comedy show. You can show all people what is your person, and I say, okay, I try.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Just think about it as I'm putting on a show for everybody. This is what I do. This is what I love.
Yes. He told me maybe this is the way for the new wind on the archery, because all will be so serious, and the people forgot for enjoying.
I think that's powerful. I mean, what that reminds me of is how much we talk also too about Mete Gazaz on the recurve side, and how even in big pressure situations over many years, it looks like to me he's really enjoying archery more than a lot of his competitors. And I am jealous of that a little bit. He looks happy and he's shooting well, and sometimes he wins and sometimes he doesn't. But it reminds me of what I liked about shooting. And so I think that I'm also learning that from you two here, like you're saying about archery sometimes gets so focused on being so serious that I think the average person, the average fan of archery likes to see people happy and enjoying what they're doing.
I will be serious on the line when I shoot. When I go down from line, I am like showman. I like joking and I like fun.
Yeah. I like it. So once you're in your shot process, that's focused. But as soon as that shot hits, relax again. And then we're setting up again and we go into our focus. Okay.
Yes, of course.
All right. So is this the end of the second end, or are we on third end now?
They're going to be starting the third, I believe.
Okay. All right. So is it still a 1 point difference? We got Sawyer shooting first. Let's see the scores in a second here.
Condition was good. I think nothing wind.
Yeah, not much at all.
No.
Okay.
Sawyer's shooting well so far too. It definitely is a tight match up to this point.
It's a good group.
Matching each other with a couple tens.
A little bit long hold, but got it low 10.
That was the one mistake, and I told about these arrows with my coach Angelo Ruiz from Puerto Rico, and because I don't know what happened, and he told me my eyes go first before my arrows. I looking before shooting to target space. Maybe that was problem.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's definitely tempting when you have such a big screen showing the arrows to see where they're going, since we don't have to look through a tiny scope all the time. But yeah, sometimes you maybe get a little out ahead and need to rein it back in and finish the shot, and then check what the screen says. But yeah, we saw Sawyer dropped an arrow there too.
In this moment, I don't think about the result. I was only in the focus into two things: the show and the shooting. Show on the backstage or maybe in the line. Yeah, that was for my friends from Luxembourg. And now I start with show.
Yeah.
And now I go to line, and I will be serious. I try this.
For sure, yeah. And I think it's good. I really like, too, as an archery fan, to see people when they do, not when they make a mistake, but when they're challenged. Sometimes it's dropping an arrow. Sometimes it's being really pushed in a match. But I like people being able to respond to things rather than just okay, we all shoot the same way and then somebody wins or loses. It's kind of, I feel like, interesting and revealing to see how people react to things. So I think that being a little more animated or a little more clear of how you're like showing that, yeah, I mean, stuff happens, but being able to be relaxed about it still, I think is very powerful in a situation that is a very big match. So I think that that I like watching that and seeing how people are thinking. All right, so 4 arrows left, 1 point difference. End of the fourth end right here. A little bit of a longer hold from Sawyer, but right in the center.
Sawyer used the hinge release. Maybe that is problem a little bit the longer hold. I use the trigger, the thumb. That I do because on the practice field I am alone. I am all time shoot alone, and I told with my mental coach, and he told me, you must hurt for somebody. You are good. When you shoot 60, you make good, Jozef. You are good. That was the.
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
I need her sometimes, and when I am alone.
Yeah, there's a lot of time shooting by yourself in archery. So, but I'm sure it sounds like you're excited too to have a crowd. I think it makes the arrows more consequential, more interesting, more exciting, because we shoot thousands of arrows alone. But it's nice to have people kind of participating with you and cheering you on and things like that. All right, so last end. So you're shooting second. You have a 1 point lead. Any particular thoughts on this end? Any particular focus places for you?
I'm still on the focus on the process. I was after these arrows when I shoot it. This was very good arrows, very good shoot, and I think I can do it. I remember for
nice.
Confidence is building towards these last couple. You're almost there.
Got 2 X's, pretty good pacing, pretty good rhythm.
Yes.
But like you said, you don't want to think about winning. You just want to think about what do I want to focus on for this next arrow.
Yes. And now I was the focus on the process, and I told himself in my brain 1, 2, 3 because I count, and wasn't it?
Nice, yeah.
And that'll do it.
That's exciting, and you could see how excited you were when you were done. And again, part of it's being the showman, part of it's kind of genuine feeling and appreciation for the crowd and the tournament.
Yes, and now,
yeah, what are you thinking right now?
Man, emotion. I was very happy. This was emotion.
Well, I can tell you we got pretty emotional watching this too, because we've known you for quite a while now. Are we over a year, 2 years since we met, and we've been following along with your career, working together, and being able to have you on the team and watch you win your first World Cup was pretty awesome for us. We were very excited for you.
Thanks.
I will say too that I think Josh got some spoilers in his message feeds because a bunch of athletes.
Oh yeah.
were
So we initially were trying to stay off of watching the World Cup results because we wanted to be able to watch these matches with Joe and I seeing the results for the first time and not knowing the outcome, so we could give maybe more like honest reactions to everything. But as soon as you won, we had probably 10 or 15 of our athletes were all texting me and sending me messages on Instagram saying, hey, did you see what Jozef did? That's so awesome. So not only were we excited for you, but the whole team was really pumped for you because I feel like when one of us does well, everybody does well.
Thank you, guys. I am very happy I am on your team because you are nice guys.
Us too, man. We feel the same.
But yeah, to add to that a little bit, so Josh got wind that you had won ahead of time, but I had looked, I think, before the weekend and saw that you had made the semifinals. So I knew you had a chance, but I didn't see anything. And then Maddie had loaded up all the videos, and I saw that you were in the gold medal match. So I went into that match not knowing how it was going to go and how everything went. And Josh had a pretty good poker face, and Maddie had a pretty good poker face. And I think I just sat there kind of stressed the whole time because I'm like, oh man, like, all right, it's getting close. Like, we're getting down to the last arrow. So I feel like that was my quietest commentary match ever because I was so nervous. But yeah, it's hard to kind of coordinate that. So I think we stopped trying to not see any of the results ahead of time because I think the research and being more prepared with the athletes is more useful overall than having it just be totally blind. But yeah, I can say I was definitely doing all my techniques to calm myself down just watching the match.
I was really happy when I win this match because I know at this moment I go to Mexico, the World Cup final, and because in 2019 I was first time in Moscow, and it was very, very pressing for me, and I was really nervous. I shoot with Mikey. That was first match, and I shoot very bad. My first arrows was 8, and but I don't enjoy it. It was very hard for me at this moment, and the next year wasn't final because it was COVID. After this, I was in the Yankton in the World Cup final. Last year, I was not in Mexico, and I was very unhappy. And when I win this, I know I go to Mexico, and my head was in 1 second. I go with my wife because we were not together in holiday maybe 10 years, and I go for September to Cancun to Stefan Hansen. I will make practice to 6th, yes, and the 6th I fly to Hermosillo, and we will make with my wife some holiday.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
Got to get that quality time with the family.
Yeah, shooting in this level, it's and this season is so full. It's every 2 weeks some competition, and I go at home and I go this 1 week before between competition. Sorry, I must go to work, and it's hard this year for me.
Yeah, it's super busy. So yeah, you'll definitely deserve a vacation in September. I think is the World Cup final in Mexico.
Yes, it's in 6 September to 9.
Well, we're definitely excited for that,
Yeah.
and we're going to be watching. It's going to be quite a battle, I think, at this World Cup final this year.
So I have some questions too. I know we kind of closed out and wrapped up the review of Antalya, but recently you won the European Games, and we don't have a video of that to watch together, but I assume that's still a huge accomplishment. I don't know if you would consider it bigger than a World Cup, or maybe one of your second or third biggest wins ever.
I don't know. People tell me it's bigger like World Cup because it's a European game. For me, it's the same level. But it was only 16 archers, and that competition was very long. I was 9 days in the Poland because 1 day was practice, second day was qualification round. After 2 days was 1/8, and next 3 days we have fly. But it was good for me because I have time for practice. I shoot a lot arrows every day.
Nice. Did you get a chance to see any other different types of sports competing while you were there? Since there's 100 sports maybe that compete at the European Games?
There was no time for this.
No time?
No time. I shoot every day from, 9 a.m. to 5, 6 p.m. and I go to hotel, and that was all. Eat and sleep. Because I have time for practice. I mustn't go to work, and I will this time shoot. I shoot maybe 350, between 350 and 500 arrows every day.
Wow.
Dang. Yeah. So it's just a work trip, basically.
This wasn't a vacation. You're here to train and compete.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine having a few extra full days for full practice with no distractions as a preparation too for the finals matches. I imagine that had some impact at least on having you feel that much more comfortable when you get into the semifinals and the gold medal match.
Yes, it was super. Because when I make a lot of practice, I have more luck. And
I think that's how it works.
Yes, and when I am at work, I have no time for practice, and this session is completely one week and competition, 1 week work, 1 week competition, 1 week work, and it's from Lilleshall. And yes, I think that helped me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Something between your mental game, your training, your enjoyment, your attitude. You definitely seem like you've got yourself in a very good place in archery that's both more fun and also healthier maybe. And it makes us always happy to see athletes having a great time in the sport like that.
You know, when you will something a lot and you work hard, that must go. And that's winning, all winning is like satisfaction for all what I do for archery.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's exciting for us to watch you. It inspires me to get back into shooting more, for sure. It's been a lot of years since I've competed at all. But I imagine too, for a lot of people watching that like you said, kind of part of that being enjoyable showman and having fun and showing it while you're up there. But part of it too is just like you're saying, the hard work, the balance of life, because I think that was something that Josh and I also missed out on, was because we focused so much when we were younger on training and traveling full time. We were very fortunate and happy to have that opportunity, but it also meant that we were constantly worried about, well, what about the rest of life? What about a job? What about a family? What about what I'm doing in the future as a career to balance this in a healthy way so I can keep enjoying archery in a way that that works for me? And it's exciting for me to see athletes who are older, who have, even if they're very busy, managed to find this balance between work and life and family in a way that they can go out in a World Cup and say, you know what? I am one of the luckiest guys in the world already. Like, I want to win, but I'm so happy and lucky to be here and to have everything I have in my life that, you know, it's all icing on the cake.
Yes, for me, it's very important the supporting what I have from my family, from my son and from my wife. Because when I have not the supporting, I cannot go all World Cup and all. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes us happy to see you doing well and to see you enjoying the travel and the competitions and doing well. But yeah, I'm excited too to be able to catch up. It's been a long time. I know we only get a chance to talk maybe a couple times a year at most, but hopefully these podcasts in the future serve for us to be able to catch up with athletes, but also to, again, offer people insight into what they're thinking and how they train and how they compete and what makes archery better and more enjoyable for them. Because I think that's what everybody's kind of chasing at the end of the day is not necessarily shooting perfect scores, but shooting well and being happy what they're doing.
Exactly.
Oh, Maddie has a question. She was wondering what your kids thought about you winning.
And my son, I have only one. I have son. Yeah, he has 16. It's but okay, good job.
That's all you get. Good job.
Yeah, yes, but enough for me because he has 16.
Sure. You probably have to win the, every tournament for a whole year for a 16-year-old to admit their dad is cool.
It's hard sometimes, but he's very good son. He's very good guy.
For sure. Yeah. So that's exciting. And
I am happy for my family.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we are too. And we're excited to hear that you guys will be going on vacation to Mexico at the World Cup final at the end of the year. That sounds like a great reward for everything you've, all the hard work and sacrifice and time away from family you've put in for a long time. So that'll be, I'm sure, very fun. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us for Follow Through. I'm Joe Fanchin and this is Josh Smith. And we just had on special guest Jozef Bosansky talking about his great performance in Antalya at the World Cup this year. So check it out and follow us more for more future videos with athletes.